Okay, in this video, we're going to be looking at the Kiveev cost page. Now, this page is essentially a page that will allow you to list out all the invoices within a certain set of parameters for a client portfolio site within a date range for various suppliers and various contracts, or even in billing files. Has multiple uses for multiple different stakeholders. Primary ones are debt management, dispute reporting, and then also just cost analytics. So as you can see here, we're looking at one particular company, looking at all commodities for all suppliers. Bills are uploaded within the year of 2022 for all portfolio sites, bill batches. So we've got 532 bills in this demo system. We've got £176 million worth of bills. £157 million of those are paid. 2.6 million are in dispute, 14 million are still marked as paid. So that's our debt figure just there. And it's we've got 532 bills there. If we wanted to refine down by supplier, we say just show us the SSE bills, and then the page will update. And it will give us 241 bills. So we can see there from the supplier SSE. So you've got a column here for supplier for SSE. So as we scroll to the right, you'll see far more information, and there's a lot of information in this table here, but we can show hide columns. So if you want to get rid of, say, the portfolio column, then we can just hide that from the screen, just to make it a bit easier to read. Or alternatively, we can export this entire table out into an Excel sheet for further analysis. So you've got columns, and say put one line per bill. So column for site reference, account number, commodities. So we can view just electricity bills here, for example, as well. So we go down from 241. In fact, they may all be electricity bills. Yep. So we're just viewing electricity bills, 241 bills. Meter numbers, MPANs. State management cost type is very useful. So you can mark meters as client payable, service charge payable, etc. So we can then filter down further into those bills only. You can say just show me meters that are vacant. Say different suppliers we've already done, start and end date. So you can say just show me bills that have a start date within the date range selected. Invoice reference, this link will take you to the bill detail screen, which we were looking at within the bill validation video. Bill type, so again, we're looking at here, I think these are mostly invoices, but if you had any credit notes, then we pick up on credit instead of bill within this table. And you've got the bill date, the total cost, VAT, including that, etc. You've got payment status, so these bills are all marked as paid. And again, we can filter. So anything that's not filterable on the left-hand menu, we have a special filter function here. So we can say payment status, just show me those marked as pay, and it will then load to 14 bills. So 14 of that 241 were marked as pay, so they're the debt. And again, we can see the figures up here have been refining as well as we've been doing the filtering. So we've got payment date, so days to overdue. So we've got 1 day left to pay these bills, so we need to download them and get them paid. Sorry, 1 day overdue. So again, we need to still download and get them paid. This is 32 days overdue, 93 days overdue. The bill kilowatt hours, reading type. So again, even if it's just for consumption report, it's very useful download straight from this page. We've got client status. So if for some reason ZTP have marked this as pay, but then the end client decides that they don't want to pay it, maybe it's a change of tenancy that hasn't been notified back to us yet, then they can reject this bill. They can let us know it's in the next payment run. It's awaiting approval on their end. It's also awaiting funds, because obviously if we're getting chased on debt, we pick up on the fact that this is awaiting funds. Supplier status, if we're told that there's a disconnection warning, we can notify that straight into the system. It's a final warning, etc. If they've confirmed it's on hold from debt chasing for whatever reason, then we can notify that. So we have got energy suppliers logging in and seeing this page and making edits on screen. So it's a very collaborative area of the system, which is fantastic. And then if you've got a PDF document of the bill, we can upload that here and view the PDFs. And then we can also upload remittance. So just marking off any bill that's been paid, and then we can upload remittance straight into the system. Mark all those bills as paid. And then we've got notes as well. So again, you can say view notes on this bill and just add notes as we move through. And then view bit notes on the next bill. If there's any notes against the meter, then again, we can see those notes there, again, for future reference. So in the export functions, We've got the table data, which we talked about. So this will download the entire table as we're seeing on screen. Dispute detail will show you more detail about the individual validation of that bill. So what messages came up when an invoice errors came up when the bill was validated, the payment status, also the original payment status when the bill went into the system. And then we've got multiple different download formats. So if there's a system that clients using, such as Dwellant, Tramps, Proactis, for making bill payments, then the downloads from these formats have been designed to go directly into these platforms and these accounting systems, just to make life easier on everybody. In addition to the notes and obviously setting statuses and things like that, there's a bulk upload here. So if you want to download 400 bills, send them off to the supplier, send them off to a client. Client makes a load of notes on the invoices, sends them back and says, yeah, these are in the next payment run. We don't need to manually type in notes for those. So we can just upload those notes straight into the system and all the notes will go against the invoices which are displayed here. And then finally, you've got additional tabs up here. So you've got a tab to view, rather than a line per bill, we've got a line per account, so you can see how much debt's accruing on each account. We've got a by supplier pivot as well, so you can see we're viewing just SSE here. So we've got a line for SSE on dispute paid and pay, and then we've got by company. So say it'll just be AM Kiveev demo there. So line per company, dispute paid and pay, and then there's a very powerful tool here, which is the build queue. So this will show every bill in the system under the current selections on the left-hand side, which are in the system, approved for payment. They have a bill file uploaded against them, but they haven't yet been downloaded from the system. So it's effectively a download queue. So an accounting team can come in here on a regular basis and download these bills and send them off. Alternatively, users can set up an automated report, and any of the download formats that we can see here, Dwellant, Proactis, etc. Tramps can be downloaded automatically and sent to any email address, so the user doesn't have to come in to download the bills. It will just run that query once a night, once a week, once a month, whatever the frequency is that's required, and it will drop the bills in table format, but also in PDF format straight into any email mailbox, which is a really powerful tool.